Happy Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Saturday after Friday night Smackdown review. Are you ready to be bored out of your damn minds? Because that's exactly what the commentators were last night. I have not heard such a uninterested, low energy commentary in a long time. Then again, it's been a long time since I've watched wrestling, but holy crap, these commentators did not care. We got what's his name, Bad News Barrett, and the other guy. I don't know his name. These guys were. They didn't want to be there. They were so low energy. Nothing that they did throughout the entire night made me even think these guys were interested. On top of that, this SmackDown kind of sucked. Not gonna lie, it was weird because it felt rushed and yet it felt slow. Like it was slow getting to the 3 hour mark. I don't know why these things are 3 hours, but it felt slow getting to the 3 hour mark. And then the things that they did try to have felt like rush, especially when we get to the main event. So this is SmackDown for May 2nd, 2025 in Des Moines, Iowa. Excuse me. Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. This is week 2 on our road to WrestleMania 42. So let's begin. And we begin with a Randy Orton show. I don't know if I like these entrances that the wrestlers do now. Not that they obviously they're going to enter, but it's every time now that they show us the wrestlers arriving to the scene. I don't care. I don't care if it's not part of a story or something. Stop showing me them arriving. I'm just gonna assume they're arriving because it looks so fake. You're gonna tell me that's how they walk normally with the camera right in their face? They're walking to show the crowd inside the arena something, right? But stop showing me them arriving to the arena. I don't care. Just show me when they get to the ring. So we saw Randy Orton, we saw Tiffany Stratton come in. Stop it. Stop it. All right, and so what did work though, what I did enjoy was that they were doing that behind the scenes stuff, and then you see Priest, and then Priest and Uso start fighting. They're getting into Priest because obviously Knight won, no, Drew won or he interfered against that match with Knight and Drew McIntyre, and it was like no, it's not on me. And then LA Knight came out of nowhere and went straight to outside. I kind of like that. I kind of like that immediate start with LA Knight, and he came out, of course, complaining about his match. He lost it because of Damian Priest interference, even though Solo also came out to interfere as well. He just wasn't caught. And then Damian Priest comes out. I don't know how else to say this, but I do not care for Damian Priest. I don't. I mean, he lost the street fight in WrestleMania. Go away. Please go away. Like that's it. It's Drew McIntyre's turn. But even in this, Drew McIntyre is an afterthought. They complain a little bit. They talk about, oh, you kind of have me, you cost me this, and you're being stupid, you're nothing, and Damian Priest has to come on and defend his honor. And so of course we're gonna go ahead and do a fight for the contender match. Great. Even though Drew McIntyre won the number one contender match with interference, fine, but he still won, but fine. Damian Priest and LA Knight now, because I think they just don't know what to do with these guys, so they're like, fuck it, let's just put you guys in the belt contention. So we start with the LA Priest and the LA Knight in the Priest match. I had another commercial break in the minute in the beginning of this match, so that was great. The crowd sounded bored, not just in this match, but throughout like the entire night. There wasn't as many pops maybe that I was expecting or that I was not hearing compared to last week. Then again, this is well past WrestleMania. This is not the Friday after WrestleMania. WrestleMania is well in the past now. We're riding. We can't ride that momentum anymore. So yeah, the crowd seemed dead as hell. And maybe because it's the same thing we've seen before. Damian Priest lost at WrestleMania with Drew McIntyre. Why the hell is he somehow fighting with LA Knight? LA Knight has a reason to be pissed, and he wants his belt back, and he should have his rematch clause and all that. So for Priest to come out here and be like, no, it's not you, it's Drew and I just fucked over, I just fucked up your match, but my issue's with Drew, not with you. Um, I think overall the match, it was decent just because I don't think it was anything great and it wasn't bad. It looked to be heated. They did seem to like really get into it. It did seem intense. They did not like each other and it was good. Although Priest is a taller dude than LA Knight. LA Knight seems to have more muscle, just like physically looking at him. He seems to have more muscle than Damien, but Damien has the height and the reach in a way. So, again, it should be you should be able to see people win matches who look like they're gonna win matches. Okay. But it was decent 50-50. It seemed intense. They seemed to get into it a lot. It seemed to be going, but then of course they come out and it was an interference again with Solo coming in again, fucking it up for everybody because we had a match between two people who not that they both don't matter. Damian Priest doesn't matter because he lost at WrestleMania, and LA Knight lost at WrestleMania too. But at least he has a rematch that he can get as being the former champion. But it ended in interference, which was a fuck finish. So we don't see who's better now. Both of those guys seem strong, right? Because nobody lost because they had interference. So it's a no contest. And then Solo comes in. Just again, it's kind of ramping up the whole thing that like, oh, he's gonna get both of those guys because without him, Fatu couldn't do it. It was because of Solo that Fatu was able to accomplish what he accomplished, which doesn't make sense as we get later on in the night, but that's kind of like what I thought the story went. I thought, hey, this guy Solo is claiming credit for all the accomplishments Fatu is doing. So, what are you doing? Still messing things up. Let Fatu fight his belt. Defend his belt. That's all he has to do. So stop interfering in matches that have nothing to do with you. But again, I think this is just because creative don't know what to do with these guys. So they're like, fuck it, LA Knight, keep going for the belt that you just lost. Damian Priest, keep throwing yourself in matches because even though you lost at WrestleMania against Drew, let's not, let's still put you in there. And Drew, let's not even give a fuck about Drew McIntyre. Good Lord. So first match was decent. It had some of its moments, but it ended in an interference DQ, and none of them lows. Both of them seem to go strong, but who cares? I don't care. LA Knight should fight Fatu. That's it. Simple. He just get his rematch. I don't know why Damian Priest has to be in here. Get him out of here. So next up we have is Fraxium. I like them. I do. I like their debut. They could get better. They have the speed. They have the momentum. And now it looks like they're starting a fight with the Beverlys. Excuse me. They're called the Deadly Beauties or Pretty Deadly or whatever the hell they call. I call them the Beverlys. They remind me of the Beverlys tag team from years ago. So, Fraxium should have won this, and they did. It was I don't want to keep saying a decent match, a good match or whatever. It's because this show just kind of sucked. There was nothing throughout the matches that I was like, oh my God, I got to see this again. Like, no, it was okay. Like, I'm not mad that I saw it. I'm just not also extremely satisfied that I saw it. So it was just decent, It was what it was. I had the time to kill. Sure, I watched it. I do like Fraxium. I do like their speed, their momentum. They do work well together. I think they're pretty cool. So good ups for them. Good. They got the win over the Pretty Deadly, over the Beverlys, as I like to call them. I don't know what they're there for. I have no. They're just. I mean, the Beverlys have to be jobbers, right? Like they're nobody special. They're not really anything amazing. They're just heel jobbers to be fed, and they were fed. Fraxium did their job pretty well, just like last week. It almost kind of seemed like the same kind of moves in, like not the same moves, the same sequences that they did last week. This week, but they moved fast. They worked well together. That's what you want in a tag team. I wouldn't mind seeing them in a battle with the Street Profits. I think that's the whole point. You want to go against the champions. But for Axiom, got it. If they, I guess, are able to continue working at the pace they're working, I think they could easily, rise atop the tag team division. Maybe go against the New Day, have some more kind of high flying stuff. But Yeah, this match with Fraxim and the Pretty Deadly, the Beverleys. Whatever. Again, it was a nothing match. I mean, it gives Fraxium some more wins, but it also just like wastes time. The one scene in the one moment in that match was that I would say a botch from the ref. Well, I think it was the ref, but also it was mostly the Beverly. If you guys remember, I believe it was Axiom. He got the pin on one of the Beverlys, and you can see that the referee is counting one, two, and obviously we're supposed to. The Beverly was supposed to kick out. The problem was either I don't think it was the ref's fault because obviously the person being pinned has to sell it, it has to kick out. But something happened that the Beverly either messed up, forgot what he was doing, forgot there was more to this match than just this pin, because you could see that the ref had to like cover her ass and say no, 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 like this, there was not a 3 count, even though it was absolutely a 3 count. And you know how you know it was a 3 count? They did not show the replay. They did not want to show the replay because you can clearly see the ref going for that 3rd count. 2 has already been gone. 3rd is coming down. She's about to slap the mat for 3 count, and Axiom is going to win, right? But she stops herself. And then the Beverly guy kicks out. It was obvious, and that's why they even had to mention, the commentator had to mention that the crowd was booing. I'm like, yeah, because we saw it. We saw that he was supposed to, the Beverly was supposed to kick out, but he did it. I don't know if he did it on purpose, if he forgot where he was, if he forgot, hey, dude, there's still like, we got still 2 minutes on this match. I don't know what it was, but he missed the kick out and the ref had to cover for him. And it was so bad that they did not show the replay. They started to do the replay, and then they immediately cut away from it. They said, no, we can't show it because the replay shows that that was a botch. So good on the ref to try to save it, but it was so obvious, it was pretty obviously bad. So they still ended up getting the win. Fraxim still ended up getting the win, but at that moment was just like, maybe that's why the Beverleys are where they are right now, which is, bottom of the shit pile. So maybe that's what it was. But again, it was decent. The Frax team this is just kind of building up their experience, making sure they win some matches until they get pushed. They have the speed, I like them. I mean, they haven't really done any kind of promos really or talked as much, so I don't know how their mic skills are, but if they can cut decent promos, if they can continue at the pace they're doing, I think they'll be okay and they'll only get better. So, second match, Fraxium wins. It's whatever, especially because of that botch with the counting. That really kind of dampened the whole thing because they should have counted it and they should have won, but then we had to endure like another 3-4 minutes of the match. So, next coming up, we have a segment with Meechin and somebody else. I don't know their names, honestly. I didn't know who they were. The only reason I know Meechin was because they said her name. And she was there trying to talk to the GM, but they got shushed away when Chelsea Green and Piper and Amber, I think her name was, came. To kind of, complain about her losing the title and she wants a rematch, blah, 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 blah. So it wasn't really so much a segment for them as much as it was just them kind of showing them and then getting them off the screen. Chelsea segment, I mean, Piper and Selena, they chose the match right away. I don't know how they're choosing matches because it just seems that, like, everybody, like, the way they're writing the story is basically people just come up to the GM, say a little spiel, and then the GM's like, yeah, okay, you got a match. And you got this match. I don't know why Chelsea doesn't get her rematch. Again, if you're a champion and you lose the belt, you get a rematch clause. Do you not do that? Do you not get a rematch before anybody else? So it's weird. And so the GM was like, hey, it's Piper against Zelina. So I knew this might be, at least from what I'm thinking, this it would be the start of a dissension in the ranks between the Secret Service as well as Chelsea Green. Because if Piper is in contention for the belt, obviously Chelsea's not gonna like that. So I was expecting to maybe see Chelsea do something to fuck up Piper's loss. And she did. She ended up doing it, but not, I don't know. I guess I was expecting a more overt way of Chelsea messing up Piper's match, because then that is going to cause Piper to kind of question Chelsea, what the hell are you doing? Because push comes to shove, as much as Piper enjoys being second fiddle to Chelsea, if Piper has a chance to win a belt, I think she's going to try to win the belt. So if she sees that Chelsea, the woman she's been quote unquote protecting, and being friends with, if Chelsea is fucking up her chances to get the belt, Piper's going to question, wait a minute, You're okay with me, being your bodyguard and being your henchman and all that, but you won't, like you won't, at least, not that you need to help her, but you won't leave her alone. Like you're trying to sabotage my chances in my match, and that's what ultimately ended up happening. I mean, again, this is the same thing as ring psychology. When I saw the Jade and Tiffany Stratton match last week, Piper should have absolutely manhandled Zelina Vega. Piper has height, has weight, has muscle, she has power over Zelina by all metrics. So she should have been hitting her with power moves and beating her easily. But due to interference, little rushes, little moments where Zelina would fight. But it's just like, I don't think Zelina has any power at all against a woman like Piper. Just look at her. You're going to tell me that Piper, even with her little short bursts of like offense, is still going to be powerful enough to fight somebody like Piper Nevins, who Piper's a big girl. She can take a lot of fucking damage, man. I mean, it's also part of the reason that interference had to happen, because it's just not believable to me. But again, I thought this was going to lead more to dissension in the ranks, but I don't think it was an overtly cause of interference from Chelsea. Okay, so I don't think Piper is taking it like, oh, Chelsea tried to sabotage my match. It was just like, oh, she tried to help me, but it didn't work out, and I got rolled up for the pin. The match sucked. Again, this wasn't even a match. This was really just to get, I don't know, this felt more like a story match for anything, and this is a story match for Chelsea as opposed to even Zelina. Like, Zelina, I don't know what they're going to do with Zelina, because if she just keeps fighting Chelsea or the Secret Service of Chelsea, what is she doing then? What other women is there to talk about if you want to talk about the belt? But the only person that's in contention for the belt is Chelsea, who held the belt before. So what the hell are we doing? Like, who are new girls that are going to come up to try to get the belt? If it's just going to be kind of hot dogged around between Chelsea, Piper, Zelina, like, so I didn't like the match. It was stupid. I really, like, Piper should have won. But then again, it would show Zelina being absolutely terrible, and you can't have that. She's the champion. And again, Chelsea is just interfering. Like, go away. Ask for your rematch, and that's it. Get over it. Like, I don't, and if that's the case, and she's gonna get her rematch, obviously she's going to. But if that's the case, why the fuck is Zelina fighting Piper? Fight somebody new. We already know Piper through Chelsea. Like, get somebody new. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get somebody new. And of course, had to be by interference, because Zelina would not be winning any other way. So, it was what it was. Let's see what else I have here. Okay, so yeah, Zelina, whatever. That match finished, and then Nia Jax comes out. It kind of made me laugh, no lie. I don't know why. I was like, is she gonna talk? Like, I wasn't expecting her to talk, and so it just kind of made me laugh that she's just gonna come out here to try to cut a segment. But she didn't even cut a good. I mean, I don't think there was enough of a segment or of a promo for me to judge whether it was good or not, because Tiffany came out to interrupt. And of course, their little feud going, I beat you, you beat me. I'm champion now, you're not. I can beat you whenever you're asking for it. So, of course, we need to, fight and all that. And it was okay. I guess, obviously they're trying to build up this feud between them. Jade comes out, Naomi comes out, and it turns into a brawl. I kind of like that, no lie. I kind of like that, no lie. I kind of liked how Jade came out and then all four women were there brawling with each other. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that part. But the talking part, I don't know if I deluded myself into thinking that Tiffany Stratton was a good on the mic. She's not. Um, Nia Jax didn't have enough to say until she got interrupted, and then Naomi and Jade came out, and they were all fighting each other. Um, it was good stuff. I liked the brawling. I liked how it ended, and not so much how it started. So, I mean, take that with what you will. And then a tag team, of course, was forming with Naomi and Nia against Tiffany Stratton and Jade. And sure enough, the tag team match was made. It was the main event of the night. Tiffany Stratton and Jade versus Naomi and Nia. Is it Nia or Nia? I think it's Nia Jax. So okay, great. Okay, Jade wants. Okay, not no no. Jade is the next one up. She wants to go and get her belt, which I think Jade should absolutely get the belt. She is. She already looks like a champion, like a more of a champion than Tiffany Stratton does. She already looks the part of the champion. She should absolutely get the belt. But we'll see how that turns out because Nia Jax also wants her belt back, of course. So and Naomi is gonna fuck up Jade's whole thing because of their whole backstory. So, at least there is a close proximity of how these women's feuds together. You know what I'm saying? So it's not so bad. It's not like Tiffany Stratton is being kind of an afterthought like Io Sky between Rhea and Bianca. At least it's really much all four of them as opposed to just two or three of them. So that was it. The tag team match is called for later on tonight, and they fuck off the ring. Next we have is Miz with Carmelo. I liked the Miz's outfit. He looked like Johnny Cage portraying Scorpion cosplay. That's how he looked like. That's the outfit he had on. He looked like if Johnny Cage was playing Scorpion in like cosplaying Scorpion. I like the yellow. I like the black. He absolutely looked like Johnny Cage playing Scorpion. I had to write that down because that's exactly how he looked. And it was going to be The Miz versus Aleister Black. I did not give a shit about this match. I don't care. The commentators are trying to put over Aleister Black. I don't care. He's this mysterious, brooding fighter who sits in the ring like he's meditating, like fucking, like Qui-Gon Jinn in episode 1 when he's fighting Darth Maul and he like meditates and stuff. Shut the fuck up. Oh, he's an MMA. He practices the Muay Thai fighting and he's, trained with the best. Man, shut up. This is fucking WWE. This ain't the Olympics. This ain't fucking MMA. This is fucking WWE. The fuck are you doing? Stop it. I think that's also adds to the detriment of Aleister Black because the commentators are trying to put this guy over and he's just boring. The Miz did his best. The match was whatever. The Miz did his best, but the Miz has years of making sure you get these good matches from him. And he did his best. He played the best heel, doing everything he had to do, surprising here, tried his best, a bit of trickery, fuckery around. I did enjoy the Miz work, but Aleister Black, it's very tough trying to play an all serious, nothing phases me kind of guy because then I don't believe you in your selling. I need you to be able to sell, okay? The Undertaker got away with it because that was the era years ago. Now, how everything has absolutely fundamentally changed from kayfabe to the type of moves to finishers. Because of that change, you need to sell, bro. You need to sell. And then the commentators are trying to put this guy over because he does Muay Thai. And I'm like, great. If Aleister Black was actually able to do Muay Thai moves in the WWE, he would kill his opponents. Does that not make sense? He would absolutely kill his opponents if he was actually able to pull off Muay Thai moves. But he doesn't because he's not doing full legit Muay Thai. So stop telling me that he's trained with all these great masters and stuff when he can't fucking do what he was trained to do. He has to pull his punches, and The Miz was doing everything he can. But Aleister Black, he's just this moody, cool guy. Nothing phases him. He was taking kicks to the chest. Oh, he's so mysterious. He's so cool. He's such a Muay Thai master. Get the fuck off my ring. Please get off of my ring. Just get out. Just get out. I don't care. And now they're trying to build him up with The Miz and that little stare down he had with Carmelo Hayes. Shut the fuck up. Carmelo, you're nothing. You literally won the Andre the Giant Memorial, and fuck all has been done with you. Fuck all has been done with you. You got a chain of Andre the Giant's face, which, as I mentioned before in my previous review, I don't like that because it reminded me too much of a death mask. But that's all you got. And for the past and last time and this time, you've done nothing. You were just the Miz's, entourage. You won the battle royal, the memorial. You won it. You got this momentum. The Miz is hyping you up, and you haven't fucking wrestled in 2 weeks. I'm supposed to believe this guy is something when he hasn't wrestled for 2 weeks, and then I think he's gonna be something to Aleister Black. That they stared down each other. They wasted my time, is what they did. That stupid ass stare down. Carmelo, go sit down, and Aleister, go take a shower. Because guys like that, let me tell you something. Guys like that think they're so nonchalant, so cool and mysterious, they're the smelliest motherfuckers out there. They're the smelliest motherfucker out there, I swear to God. So, yeah, it was stupid. The Miz did his best, but no, Aleister Black is not this cool dude, whatever. I need more. I need fucking more. So, and Carmelo, I need more from you. I need something from you. At least Aleister had a match within the 2 weeks that he showed up. You won the memorial and you have not wrestled in 2 weeks. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I don't believe you for a second you're staring down this guy like you're going to win. Boo. That was a shitty ass match. All right. Next up. Let me see my notes here because I got to make this shit legit. Next up, we had two people that I also don't care about. Fucking Phoenix and Santos talking to each other. Santos getting in Phoenix's ear, how stupid you are, you lost, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care about these people. I don't care. You're gonna, talking to him and, how you failed and all this. And, of course, Phoenix just challenges to a match. At least we get something, Yeah, at least we get a little bit of a build-up to a match. Hey, you're talking shit to me. I can still take you. Let's go. Let's have a match. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. That's it. That was it. That's basically what happened. I do not care. Yeah, I didn't care about that at all. But we have a match between Phoenix and Santos. Okay, great. Next match was the Zelina versus Piper. I thought it was for the belt. It was just a non-title match. Did I not talk about the foot? Oh, I think I talked about the match without the match up. Okay, yeah. The match, everything I mentioned before with Zelina and Piper. I thought it was for the belt. It wasn't. It was a nothing match. The crowd was dead. This is where the crowd being dead really was noticeable. I mean, again, throughout the entire night, they were pretty dead. Okay, they didn't clap as much. They weren't as loud. But when Zelina came out, oh, bro. Oh man, like it was incredibly noticeable how dead the crowd just did not care about it. In the middle of her entrance, I got a commercial break, and also I got a promo for Pat McAfee and his appearance on Stephanie McMahon's podcast show. I don't care. I cannot believe that WWE thinks that I'm going to be excited to watch Pat McAfee versus Gunther. Get the fuck out of here. But whatever. It was whatever. I didn't care for the Piper Zelina match like I mentioned before. She has to look good, but of course the only way she won was because of interference with Chelsea, that she was able to pick up a win, so a bit of a sneaky way. But then again, they had to do that because nobody was going to believe that Zelina Vega could take on Piper Nevins. She does not have power. She's small. Not only is she small, she's short. At least shorter than Piper. Piper has way more power. She was absolutely just washing the floor with Zelina. And it was only because of interferences that Zelina was able to, connect some stuff and win. And that's how she won. She won in the end because Chelsea messed up an interference and caused her to get rolled up. That's all it was. And Zelina had to win because of Piper. In a way, like I mentioned earlier, if this was a angle to get Chelsea and Piper to kind of break up the trio, because Chelsea can't handle not being the champion, but also she's not even gonna let her quote unquote friend win the championship either. I mean, if that was the angle, but that wasn't it. There wasn't no overt a heel action. There was no overt sabotage that Chelsea did that would make Piper question it. So we're still gonna so Piper's just gonna be okay with having Chelsea kind of fuck her over in a match, and she just still working with her. Whatever. Nobody cared. The crowd didn't care. I did not care either. So that was that, and then we have a segment backstage between LA Knight and Damian Priest and Solo coming out, and they're all getting mad at each other, just talking with the GM. And Solo again is using his whole thing like, why am I interfering? Why you're doing this to Fatu? It was going to be a triple threat between LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Fatu. And Solo had to correctly point out, hey, Drew McIntyre won the #1 contenders match. Fucking A. Even when Drew McIntyre won at WrestleMania, won the #1 contenders match, he's still not fucking thought of. The GM literally said a triple match for the belt, Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest. Solo had to be the fucking one to remind them, hey, Priest won his #1 contenders match. Drew McIntyre is a fucking afterthought. They don't give a shit about him. You're telling me that Drew McIntyre is somebody when you need the guy who's been interfering in matches on behalf of the champion to remind the GM that he was the one that won the #1 contender? They totally buried him to put Damian Priest. They totally buried him to put Damian Priest in, and then the GM was like, oh, yeah. You know what? Better yet, let's make it a fatal four-way. Why the fuck is a fatal four-way? Drew McIntyre is the #1 contender. It's Drew McIntyre versus Fatu. Why the fuck? I understand. Oh, fine, we throw in LA Knight. Fine, he was the champion before. He gets to get a rematch. But guess what? Drew still beat him for the #1 contender spot. That's it. LA Knight is second. He gets second place to go up against Fatu if Drew McIntyre doesn't win. That's how it works. The fuck you mean Drew gets to win the WrestleMania against Damian Priest, wins the #1 contenders match, but fucking Priest gets in a fatal four-way? It's almost like what Rhea Ripley did, although Damian wasn't really complaining about anything. He was just offered it. Rhea Ripley was the one bitching and crying about how she should be in a fucking triple threat. But seriously, Drew McIntyre, I feel so bad for Drew because not even your own company gives a shit about you, bro. The guy who interferes had to remind the GM that you won the contenders match. That's fucking ridiculous. And now we get a fatal four-way for Backlash. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? It should be a straight-up belt match between Drew McIntyre and Fatu, not a fatal four-way. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're fucking doing. Fucking, everybody forget about Drew. Everybody forgot about fucking Drew winning the fucking #1 contender match. Holy shit. All right, that shit's out of the way. Next up, we have the Randy Orton segment. This segment felt a lot like Sami Zayn's segment without Seth Rollins. Randy Orton came out, talked about John Cena, talked about he's this and he's doing whatever, but I'm better. And he's stupid because he doesn't appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. It felt a lot like Sami Zayn's promo that he did with Seth Rollins. It was, but I was also expecting John Cena to show up. I was expecting John to get his lick back like Randy did to him 2 weeks in a row. He did it to him 2 weeks in a row, interrupting him, coming out and RKOing him. Randy comes down. I'm thinking John Cena will show up, but no. But fortunately, guys, don't worry. The commentators let us know that next SmackDown, John Cena will show up. Because now we didn't get John Cena, but we're gonna get him next week. So definitely come in for that. I don't think he'll be fighting because it's the SmackDown before Saturday Night Main Event, I think, or Backlash, which he's already gonna fight Randy. So it's just gonna be a promo for that. So Randy just coming out, he didn't even get hit by John Cena like he already did twice to John Cena. So whatever. But Randy's awesome. He's gonna do his best. He's gonna show John Cena that he's gonna win the belt. Blah blah blah. Even though I think maybe Randy's gonna lose, because if Randy wins, John Cena loses his thing, and he might just have more reason to not show up. He already has his days numbered. Again, they keep reminding us October, Australia. John Cena will be his last event. That's it. After October, John Cena will not be wrestling anymore. They keep mentioning that. So if he loses his belt before that, and then he regains it before October, then he'll beat the record again, 18-time world champion. But then he's just going to do what he set out to do, which is retire the champion with him, take it with him. So Randy losing, so Cena can keep going until maybe he loses it closer in October, and it stays with Randy would make sense. But I don't know if WWE thinks the stuff in the long term. You know what I'm saying? Because this just seems like it was everything building up for the next pay-per-view, and not so much, long-term booking. But we'll see. Randy's great. It was whatever. Yeah, I thought Cena should have come out and hit him with an F5 or an attitude or whatever the hell his move is. But he didn't. So that's what it was. Next match was Santos versus Phoenix. And honestly, I wasn't paying attention to this match. I was listening to the commentary, and the commentaries weren't paying attention to this match, and they get paid for stuff like that. Nobody cared. The crowd was dead. Like who cares, man? Nobody cares about Ray Phoenix. Nobody cares about Santos guy. It was like a nothing match. They just came out. They did what they had to do. It was, I don't know. Was it decent? I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. The crowd was not into it. I mean, near the end, there was a little bit of like a rally for Phoenix and whatever. But, the whole match, whatever. Oh, I'm better than you as a luchador. I guess. Who cares? There's like no stakes, bro. There's like no stakes to this. It's just I'm better than you, and you messed up by losing WrestleMania, so now I got to beat you. Okay, well, you lost. Santos lost, and Phoenix won. So, whatever. That's it. It was whatever. Can it work? Can there still be this feud between them? Who the fuck knows? Afterwards, we get Nia Jax and Naomi kind of, talking with each other, kind of getting ready for the match. Naomi still doing her crazy shtick where she doesn't like respond at all in a reasonable manner to Nia Jax. And then we also had a little bit of a segment with Santos and the other luchadors, and then talking about Santos, you talk a lot of shit, but you talk legacy, you can't be smart. There's already dissension in the ranks. This is another dissension in the ranks kind of thing, because I don't know his name, but that one luchador who was staying behind after Santos was the Phasma Gazma. What are they called? The Phantasma something group. You could tell that there's dissension in the ranks also, because you could see the guy who was standing by that older dude who was telling him to think, and Santos is not the guy who he claims to be. He's a bad influence, so don't team up with him, blah, 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 blah. So there's a bit of dissension in the ranks, but I don't care. Who the fuck are these people? Like, boo, I get them out of my screen. And then finally, we have the main event. Again, it kind of felt rushed, but at the same time, it was just like slow because of how uninterested I was in this. The commentator sounded uninterested in this show. The crowd was not as alive as they were before. There were no "This is awesome" chants. I don't think so. I didn't hear anything, because I know for a fact if I heard the crowd saying "This is awesome" to any one of these matches that happened, I would have wrote it down and said, "This crowd is stupid." But I didn't. So they must not have, or maybe I wasn't, or didn't catch it because I was doing something else. Who the fuck knows? But I didn't hear any "This is awesome" chants, which is great. So the main event, we have Jade and Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi and Nia Jax. I thought it was a pretty good setup. I think this was the best match out of all of them, because I actually felt something, because the story kind of, it was a good intersection of all the stories. You have Jade going for the belt, and also going for Naomi, which is good because you don't want Naomi to kind of sabotage her chances of getting the belt. And then you have Tiffany and Nia, who have their own issues and backstory with the belt as well, with the belt in the center of all of these feuds. So at least I felt something, and I did like them I did like them teaming up, friend of my friend and stuff, like friend of my enemy of my friend, and all that jazz. But the championship belt was the center of all these feuds, and all these four women have like a good enough reason to feud with one another, and especially Jade. I'm for Jade. After all this, I'm feeling like Jade should win the belt. I am for Jade. She has the look. She needs to work on her mic skills, but she absolutely can be an amazing champion. And of course, she needs to take care of Naomi so she doesn't get sabotaged by Naomi for her chance to actually get the belt. And I like Nia Jax's also feud with Tiffany. Hey, you were my friend before. Now we're fighting. You're champion. I want my belt back. That works enough for me. The fight was, I guess, like any other women's matches that I've been watching recently. They're slow because they're calling out moves. You could eat like they were obviously calling moves for each other in the ring, and you could see it. And I think that's why this match, I don't know what it was about this match, but I had so many fade to blacks. It wasn't a fade to a commercial break. It wasn't a fade to just wait. No, no, no. These were just moments where the screen will go black for a few seconds and then it would reappear. And from what I gathered, they do that when certain wardrobe malfunctions happen, or maybe when certain moves or sequences aren't working or they can't show it. Something or another happened that they had to actually fade away and then come back. So and they had a few of that during this match, and it was like, okay, either they had wardrobe malfunctions or something wasn't right. But if that's the case, at least Jade and Tiffany need to wear better outfits. I don't want to be that guy because, I don't mind women wearing what they're wearing. But at the same time, if it's going to cause an issue where we're having to fade to black because your wardrobe is not durable enough to sustain itself during the match, and then it causes me to get a fade out to black screen, so I'm getting little fade out spots throughout the match. It's a problem. Okay, it's a problem. So figure it out, ladies. Figure it out, because it kind of seems that they're wearing less and less every time they come out. I don't know what that's about. It was I don't even think it was a decent match because Tiffany Stratton was the weakest link out of all of them, bro. She was the weakest link. Do you understand that Nia Jax should have manhandled the shit out of Tiffany Stratton? Naomi should have manhandled the shit out of Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton should have been the one getting her ass pummeled, but she got a hot tag in from Jade and she tried to knock Naomi down and it took her forever. It was whatever, man. Like, again, it's very much like the Zelina Vega Piper Nevins thing. I don't believe Tiffany Stratton can go punch for punch with Nia Jax. There's no way. I don't think she can go pound for pound against Jade Cargill or Naomi. And I like Jade Cargill over Naomi and Nia Jax. So what the fuck are we doing? This match was, I mean, again, I like it for the story element. I like it that all of them have a good reason to be feuding with each other, and the championship belt is the center of all of it that connects it. So I'm okay with that. Tiffany Stratton couldn't bring Nia down. It was okay. I like the heel work that Nia Jax and Naomi did. Obviously, they're both heels. They're not tag team heels. They're just heels who happen to be put in a tag team match. And they had their moments. You could see where like Naomi doing a blind tag and Nia Jax not liking it and then doing it to Naomi back. Like, I like that. They had some work, some ring psychology to show that not only are they heels, but they're heels who just happen to be together for this match. So they still have their own little heel tendencies. So it was good to see that. It was good to see that they're building up something. And maybe that's what made this match better than it actually was. Because again, you're calling out spots for fading out to black. I'm not believing any fucking body that Tiffany Stratton can bring down any of the other three girls in the ring, and yet she's pulling off moves, and I'm supposed to believe they're selling is something amazing. And then she wins with a roll up. No, excuse me, it wasn't a roll up. It was a power bomb from the top turnbuckle. Okay, what I didn't like though is that, again, you need to sell. Okay, you can't play the nothing phases me. So for Jade to get the fuck up quickly as hell to powerbomb Nia, excuse me, it's like, okay, I get, you playing possum and stuff. I understand that. You kind of fake a person out. But it's just so quick that you're like, okay, you were totally not even like wanting to sell anything. You just got up immediately for your next spot. Powerbomb from the top turnbuckle. Again, Jade showing off her strength. She should absolutely demolish Tiffany Stratton. Unless Tiffany Stratton goes in the match fighting Jade and attacking her legs. Um, uh, Jade should absolutely beat the crap out of Tiffany Stratton in any match that she's in with her. But a power bomb from the top turnbuckle, and a pin. It's not. It wasn't bad. That finish wasn't bad, but really, more of the story was the whole Naomi coming out and just like beating on Jade some more to continue their feud. Again, I like it more than it actually was because there was like story to it. You know what I'm saying? The four ladies have a reason to fight each other, and the championship belt is in the center of it. You know what I'm saying? They're none of them are an afterthought to the belt. Like Io Sky with Rhea and Bianca, they are actually their own person into the story, and the belt is the center of their goal. Naomi, I'm sure as much as she wants to, get back at Jade for whatever, she's gonna want the belt. That's why she held it up and stepped over Jade, at the end there. And Nia wants her belt too, and Tiffany, of course, wants to defend her belt. So again, the story made me like the match more than the actual match because the match was just, it was whatever. It was absolutely whatever. And yeah, and because of that, it was the best match for me. Again, Drew McIntyre, I feel so sorry for him. Nobody gives a shit about him. They absolutely forgot that he won the number one contender match. So I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for Carmelo. He won the Andre Giant Memorial, and he has done fuck all for 2 weeks. The Miz is fighting out here, cutting promos. Carmelo's just there hanging around, even though he's the one who should be put over. Santos and Phoenix and the Luchadors, you guys better come with a better match because I don't care anything about what's going on with you guys. Phoenix getting made fun of because he lost to El Grande Americano. Santos losing to Phoenix, whatever. Like, guys, I need something more. Yeah, and the whole Chelsea and Zelina Vega thing, I want that to end. Put Zelina to somebody else because I can't stand Chelsea in her persona right now. I don't like it. It's stupid. Okay, I think it's stupid, and Zelina Vega is such a small woman, such a small and short woman that it's just very impossible for me to think that she can beat anybody who's taller and bigger than her. So do something with her. Let her lose it. Let her lose the belt and give it to somebody else, man. I'm sure there are plenty of other women that could probably use the belt and the push because right now Zelina being the champion does fuck all. Okay, and yeah, the main event was the best match with Jade, Tiffany, Nia, and Naomi. I think you can absolutely skip this SmackDown if you ever want to like do a replay. Don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure next week they're going to recap it anyways for us. So you really don't need to watch this. None of the matches were spectacular. The storylines they're so basic you can absolutely figure it out on a recap so you don't have to watch it. And yeah, it was boring. The commentators were bored, the crowd was bored, the wrestlers were bored. That botch that they had with Fraxium and the Beverleys, Pretty Deadly. Yeah, it wasn't. Randy Orton came out. That Randy Orton is the one that got the biggest pop of the night, and he just went out there and pulled the Sami Zayn promo talking about John Cena and he's gonna win. And okay, whatever. Even though I was hoping John Cena would come out and hit him like Randy hit him, but it didn't work. So we'll see how next week when John Cena actually makes an appearance. Thank you for gracing us with your appearance, John Cena. And then of course after that we get Backlash. Is it Backlash or Saturday Night Main Event? Either way, it doesn't matter. It's a pay-per-view that's like rushed. That's just gonna have rush storylines or rush feuds because again we have a fatal four-way with Damian fucking Priest in the mix, even though he has fuck all to do. He has fuck all to do, and they said fuck it, let's put him in. And again, I just want to remind you, fucking the GM Nick Aldis goes, and he puts him in a triple threat. He didn't give Drew McIntyre one fucking thought. He literally said, Fatu, it's going to be you, LA Knight, and Damian Priest for your belt in a triple threat. Solo had to tell him, Drew McIntyre won his contender match. Fucking trash. So yeah, pour a cold one for Drew McIntyre because they don't give a shit about him. So that's my review for the SmackDown of May 2nd. You can absolutely skip it. There was nothing. There was nothing. The main event was my favorite one, the one I consider the best, but that's because there was at least some story that I liked, something that made sense as to why they're fighting. So yeah, hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for the Raw review. Until then, guys, be safe and take care. Bye.